I try my best to create a world with all of these details so it feels worth exploring. But it's difficult to do within the time frame I've set for myself. A month is not a whole lot of time when you're studying full time. But I try my best, and I think I've done pretty good. I know this area is really small right now, but it is really pretty in my eyes. It's just so detailed, and it's like properly proportioned for a person to walk through here. And gardens aren't always the most perfect designs. That's why this is like a tight corner. And with all of the watering, there's always a puddle or two. But it doesn't, obstruct the way you're walking. Most of the time, anyway. Hey parala, everyone, and welcome back to my Minecraft world. I hope everyone had a wonderful winter holiday, I suppose. Even I don't celebrate Christmas per se. I'm a Yule type of guy. Episode 7. I had plans. I had a couple different kind of plans, but I can't fit everything today. And I just gotta pick one. So, today I will fix up details that I just haven't had the time to do before I just run out of time to make the episode. So, detailing. This will be mainly about the buildings, but I will also start doing minor terraforming. Paths and smaller trees. Not very large ones, though. And since I plan on doing stuff next episode, possibly going to the end, I will have to look up either a moss farm or what's it called? A creeper farm. Because I do need rockets, and I also do need moss, and with moss you can also get bone meal that I just don't have either. So, a redstone farm, technically. And I think that is a good starting point. But before we start, I do have to get some resources that I am very much running low on now. So, that would be the cue for narrator Bandu to think of a story to tell. Woo! Alright, so I've done a couple attempts at recording this entire 10-minute section, but I just don't have enough content for 10 minutes. I just don't. It's a sad thing to admit that my life is boring as hell. I'm gonna go ahead and piece together some smaller stories about my life, I guess. Oh god. Alright, so in November, I turned 20. Hello! And I decided that no more. I'm not going to deal with this broken keyboard that I bought used after my other keyboard also broke down. It wasn't fully broken, but it was annoyingly broken. So I decided to get a new one, a fresh, straight out of the store. And I had some requirements, alright? I am someone who invests into an update on my gear. So I got the most silent keys, like the mechanical keys, whatever they're called, as possible. They are so quiet in comparison to my old keyboard. It's nutty. I love it. Other requirements that I wanted for my keyboard, I needed to have for my keyboard were the 3 extra Nordic letters, as well as have the full amount of keys, either 100% or 96%, I think are the most common options to have. I preferred a wired one. I don't exactly like having things that need to be charged constantly and then potentially even have like Bluetooth cut out, and then it's a huge problem. And that's why my mouse and my keyboard are both still wired. So eventually I ended up settling on a Ducky keyboard from a Danish website, I believe. But it operated in all of the Nordic countries and a couple of the European countries as well. So the shipping wasn't bad. It was a very well-known place. But what they failed to include on their website or on Ducky's official website is that the yellow keycaps, the actual lettering on the keys, are not like see-through. Like the light from the backlight doesn't actually go through the keys. It just has a blurry like attempt of it. And I don't know if you've ever tried to read white text on a yellow background. It is impossible to do. So I keep pressing the wrong keys all the time. My typing to begin with is really slow, but now it's even worse. There's more issues. I'm fine. I'm not having a breakdown. And I don't have enough money to really invest in a full set of new keys, just because the websites didn't have the information that it's horrible, that it's a flawless, it's not a flawless, it's a flawed design. And so I gave up. I'm dealing with it. I have it for now. It's a curse. Bad financial decisions. Okay, so the next one is yet another bad financial decision. Well, not exactly. I had my headset break. I used to have a HyperX Cloud 2 that I believe was released in like 2015 or something, and I got it probably 2016 or 17. So it's lasted a really long time, nearly a decade in my use, where it was very abused. I kept accidentally dragging it off the desk whenever I left, because the cord, I had an extension to it. I think it comes with a package, and it just was like a 2-meter long cord, and I kept tripping on it and pulling it off to the floor. So it eventually finally broke, and I had to find a replacement. And I'm not a very tech-savvy guy. I just do some research. I hope I did a good job, and then that's it. That's what I deal with. It's what I did with the keyboard, and we know how that went. So I decided to enlist the help of my brother, my big brother, who I trusted in knowing his stuff. But, he's a different person from me. He has different standards of what he would want from a headset and what I would want from one. For example, what he liked the most was that it was light, that it had the best sound quality, and things like that, while I was all about comfort. If it was cheaper and things like that. And for it not to be obstructive and things like that, even though I wanted wired headset, which is an oxymoron, but whatever. We ended up buying some headset that was like 60 euros. I ended up hating it because the RGB lights on the ear covers were in the front of it, and I have blonde, curly, and frizzy hair, so whenever, I also have bangs, so whenever I just put them on, and it was even dark or dim in my room, I would just illuminate my entire head because of my hair and those lights. And another issue with them was also that if you didn't have the mic plugged into the headset, it would break the audio every hour or 30 minutes or so. and it was just infuriating. I didn't want to accidentally have a recording connect to the headset audio, like the microphone, and then have horrible audio quality for a 4-hour recording or something. And just... I needed it to be unplugged just for the sake of my sanity. So I caved. I told my parents that they can return my Christmas gift headset, and then I'll buy myself a new one. And I did. Instead of replacing my headset with the exact replica, which was the HyperX Cloud 2, I decided to replace it with the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless, which is... I've really liked wireless headset, but don't tell my brother. And I do believe I am out of stories. Well, I'm not out of stories, I'm not a very good storyteller, so anytime I try to explain something, it just doesn't do it for me. It sounds horrific. I've been trying to record a 10-minute section for 2 hours now. It's painful. It's 2 hours. It's 1:30 in the morning. I need to finish school stuff from today. Like, I could tell you about how I was thrown off my bike, face first into the snow, broke my glasses. I could talk about things that have happened in class, like how we were covering biscuits in chocolate, like we were dipping them in there, and my classmate was like, I don't like how these look, these are ugly, and then shoved 3 into my face hole, and I ate them with great joy. It was free cookie. Or how when we were sampling the upperclassmen's recipe of some stew and it had jam onions in them, I ate 3 people's entire portions, and it was a lot of food. These portions were not like sample tiny. They were like small plate sample, like actual plates of food, and I ate 4 of them. Or how I'm losing my sanity with the teacher and her ways of teaching, but you know, it's fine. I'm a grown adult. I can handle it. But when my dog Karma keeps me up in the middle of the day, the middle of the night, because there's a girl dog in heat or something, and my non-castrated dog gets insane about the smells. Oh my god. I'm fine. I think at this point, am I making redstone? I don't know. Probably. Back to recording Bandu. Good luck. Okay, this will determine if I built it correct. I actually did? Whoa. Okay. This is definitely more of a bone meal farm than moss, because as the stone is generating, it'll keep pushing most of the moss on this side, where the hoppers for bone meals are. Meanwhile, the moss collection itself is only here. And there's, only one. I could make it, the rest. Nothing's really stopping me. But I'll let this run for a while, because I need bone meal anyway. Yes, this is definitely a problem. It's not collecting enough moss. But I can just fix it by adding 2 more hoppers, which I do have. So, I'm going to assume... How did I turn this off? Like that. Okay, now I pray to God that it didn't break it. There we go. So it'll be even moss and even to bone meal. It should be fine. And you know, I can just turn it off. Oh, but it won't turn that one off. So I followed this tutorial by a person named Sebaleus622 from YouTube. This was an incredibly helpful tutorial. It was very thorough and just very simple. I didn't even need slime blocks or slime pistons, which would have been hard to get since I don't have a way to get slime at all. So this is a really good design. It wasn't too expensive either. And it works. Well, while that is running, its test run, I think I will go ahead and give you guys a tour of what I did. I hope you enjoyed this story time. I have no idea what I was talking about, but you know, hopefully it was good. Alright, let's start off with this area, because I started my episode here. I talked about how I really liked the flow, the detail of this place, and I wanted more, so I did more. That's all there is. Even behind here, where I never go to, there is a chair now, looking over the empty fields and whatever. So let's start off with these. I believe these wagons, carts thingies belong in design to Clay Design MC. Clay with a K. These were just really nice. I could never make something so detailed in that small of a scale. So I found these on Pinterest and I had some fun with these. They were really nice and easy to do. Even this one. Even, like, this one, funnily enough, actually had these very blocks in its reference image, which is, you know, what I have here in the barn. Not only in its, like, what the roof is made out of, but what is stored up there. I did also make some alterations to the roof. I think I ran out of moss last time. So, you know, I made it more green, but I still need to fix it on the other side to match, but you know, I am not about that right now. So we all know how much of a total nerd I am about nature and biology and things like that. And I wanted to expand on this in my world. In the region where I was born in Finland, there's, you know, a lot of exposed rock. You know, the soil is not very deep. There's always bedrock immediately, even in the fields. So, between these rocks and other discarded things that are hard to pull out of a field, trees grow, especially pines. So I made a pine-esque looking tree here. I have dubbed these kinds of pines as field pines, because they stand alone in the middle of a field. Oh no. And a field pine in Finnish would be peltomänty. And, you know, it works, I like it. Other things, detail-wise, I decided to hide light sources as well as detail the edges of the path so it looks a little more worn down. And, you know, I think it works. I even got some lichen to blend it in with the rock. And, you know, I like it. It's fine. And I don't know about y'all, how much you guys just walk around in fields in the middle of summer, but typically at the edges next to the forest line, there's always just not wheat. It's weeds, grass, whatever is growing there, and it typically grows even taller than the crop itself, but you know, about the same most of the time. So I think this also blends in really well. I like it. I'm really happy with what I've done. And then on our way here, I will go to that soon. There is a smaller tree, also very cute, very demure. Fits pretty good, I'd say. The path, also textured, also goes there. And now we are on the street towards the bridge, which I still haven't made. We've got our market stalls that I have yet to detail properly, and I'm missing fences right there. It's okay. It's a future banner problem. And I think these look good. They're a little shabby, I think, but I couldn't think of a better red than granite when the wall behind it is already a red color. That is a very blank wall. It needs something. Figure it out later. And we've got my pride and joy, this little stall right here. I found some old pictures from my trips through Norway and Sweden when I was younger, and I found this picture from Stockholm. I think it was January, and people were selling fresh vegetables in just the center of Stockholm in the winter months, and it was absurd to me, so I took a picture of it, and I still have it. So this is based off of that. It's not as colorful as the picture is, but you know, I still think about it. I even made the stall roof a shade of greenish blue, like they had. And for some reason, my keyboard has pounds instead of euros or dollars. But you know, I can deal with that. I can just switch it up later. Not everything is done yet. It doesn't have to be. I'm not in a rush. I don't do this for a living. And, yeah. Well, technically, there's still one thing I didn't show. Well, I did, but I just didn't mention it. I dug a huge new section. Originally, I wanted to make the creeper farm because I couldn't find a moss farm designed without slime. But, you know, then I came to the realization that I have not been lighting up a lot of caves. I did a little bit, but I just it's a lot. And I've been sick and I've been tired, and it's just that's a problem for a later date. Oh yeah, and the bees are in here now. I think I did a pretty good job of keeping with the plans for today. I got some details, and I did a little bit of terraforming, because trees also count, and that certainly is redstone. Yeah, it's good. Alright, this was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I was sick for most of it, so, you know, it's not my greatest work, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. And I think that would be it for today. I'm going to bid you farewell and say good morning, good day, good evening, or good night, wherever you might be in the world. And I'll see you here next time. Bye!